Everybody, it's Zach. Welcome back to the Heroverse. And guys, I just got done with Stargirl Season 3, Episode 10, called The Killer, which I guess you could say Chapter 10, The Killer. And guys, I cannot believe that, I'm just going to say what the ending was. I cannot believe that Paula and Crusher died. I still can't process that Paula and Crusher are dead now. At the hands of Jordan. I know, right? Jordan's back. I don't know how to feel personally. And it's crazy is because I had a theory, not about Jordan being back, but I had a theory saying, when the Sylvester got picked up and dropped, and there was kind of like wind that we saw first before the pickup and droppage. I said to myself, oh my God, this might be Cameron because he's learning how to use his abilities. And I always thought that they never showed Jordan flying before, but I was like, it's possible necessarily. He's able to control wind and stuff and do a whole bunch of things with, his ice powers. I was like, who's to say he can't levitate? So the fact of it is, and also, I also said, with the stab wound from the gambler, I was like, okay, it most likely could definitely be Cameron. Because, as we all know, you can make icicles and stab people. So to find out that Jordan has been alive and been spying on people was a big holy shit moment. And the fact that Crusher and Paula, like I said, are gone after things were looking up for them so well in this episode, because we literally go throughout their entire house and they, and Crusher, he is retired his Crusher has retired his Sportsmaster gear. It's sitting up on the mantle. He's working on a protein bar called Ripped Protein Bars. Even a superhero needs a snack. He was making his own protein bar. He was like doing that. And then, Paula, she was, making cakes. She was actually like making friends with, Barb. Like that was her actual friend outside of her family, like her first friend outside the family. Like things were going so well. And, Artemis, she actually, I think she got like accepted into like a college, I think. Or, maybe she's going to be the new starting quarterback for the team. I'm not quite sure what grade they're in. So I think she got accepted to a college. I think that's what she got accepted to. Then again, let me know. I could be wrong, honestly, because I thought they were, initially when the season started, I thought they were maybe sophomores, but I think they were juniors. And now this is their senior year, which that would make more sense to how she got offered something. So I'm thinking that they're seniors now, which is still crazy to me. So, I was always thinking to myself, okay, if they are seniors and this is their last year of high school, what would the writers have done if the show went on for a season 4? What would they have done to make the show keep going? That just made me think about that. But things were looking up so well for the family. And to have them die at the end of this episode really pissed me off. I think I've never been more pissed off in me watching TV or me watching anything than I mean, the only thing I can compare is if you watch the latest season of Umbrella Academy and something happened at the end of that season, somebody died, and then somebody, and somebody, came back, but I didn't know they were coming back. I was angry then. But I don't think, but even then, I would say nothing. That's the only thing that really I can compare that really has made me angry in television. And this is definitely up there where I got so freaking pissed I wanted to literally punch the table. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I have grown to love these characters, Paula and Crusher, so much. And the fact that, in this episode, there's clearly a line driven between, the team and how everybody is thinking, and how, the McKents are thinking about how, they were attacked by the new JSA team. And, thank God that, Grandpa, McKent survived, thank God, because I can only imagine what that would have done to Cameron if only the grandma was there, what the grandma would brainwash Cameron to do. Because if I'm being honest, without the grandpa saying don't do it, Cameron killing Rick, Cameron would have killed Rick on the hands of the grandmother saying they killed your father, kill him, what you need to do. And I'm just so glad that he was there, but but without that, it's I think Cameron would have, just went after, would have killed Rick right then and there, and then probably would have went after everybody else on the hands of what the grandmother was saying. But, in this episode, they're all kind of like, upset at Rick in this episode, and Beth's the only one that checked up on Rick on Rick in this episode. And it wasn't even just Beth, but it was also Beth's parents examining Rick to see if he was okay. And I guess his adrenaline, I guess it's like his blood pressure is very high, and his adrenaline is just spiking 24/7. Like he's just so amped up. Like his adrenaline is like out, like literally so high. He's just adrenalined up because of the hourglass. And I know from the comic books, I think his father, if I'm correct, somebody said this, I think, had a drug addiction. So they're kind of doing that where like the hourglass, since the hour emitter is out of the hourglass now, and now it's 24 hours. It's like a drug for Rick. It's an adrenaline drug. That's what's like what they're kind of adapting it, where it's like this is his drug. It's adrenaline. It's the feeling of like him having power 24/7. So they're really doing that. And he yelled at Beth saying, don't ever tell me what to do, because Beth said, please take it off for like 10 minutes and see how you feel, and you just won't do it. But he even said to Beth, like, we need to be on high alert. We don't know what the McKents are doing. He still finds them a threat, because we're not sure right now if the McKents were the ones spying or not. By the way things went down, I would say that they weren't. Just by the way things went down, they kind of didn't know what was going on. You know what I mean? And even, I forget, like, Courtney was actually thinking there's no way that they didn't know, because the signal was coming from there. And the one that was actually defending the idea that it wasn't the McKents was Sylvester. Sylvester's like, I find it funny that once you're going to, to tell, Cameron everything that was going on, and you wanted to make up with the McKents, for everybody's sake, that's when, Beth gets a ping of the signal that we've been looking for forever, and it's just been pinpointing off of different locations. That's when you finally realize that, when you're trying to make amends, we find out they're the ones that are spying on us. He's like, I don't think they knew what was going on. I think that they have been spied on just as much as we have. And I was actually shocked Sylvester's like growing so much. I mean, but we've known that. We've been seeing that he's kind of like grown to listen to Pat, and how like Courtney should be listened to, and and Courtney really is the future and the leader of the JSA. So it's like he's learning so much from Courtney, just as much as like Pat has learned from Courtney, and Courtney's learned from Pat, and how like Courtney's learned from Sylvester as well. It's like they're learning so much from each other, and like Pat's like adapting to the way like Courtney's been like teaching everybody that everybody can change. Sylvester's taking so much of that in, and he's kind of like putting that towards like the McKents. I don't believe they knew, and I think that they were set up. And, to find out that they were kind of like set up by Jordan, something is wrong with Jordan, because I don't think Jordan would put his family in harm's way like that. I don't know. I think there's something up with Jordan, because I don't buy that he survived getting just smashed into literal ice chips. I highly doubt there's something up there. I just don't buy that he's just back. I feel like someone made him come back, like someone put him back together. I'm thinking there's still maybe a bigger villain behind this. Maybe Dragon King like put them back together. Maybe it was the white ape that did it, which I totally forget the white ape's name. I know that he's like a villain in DC Comics, a big villain. I heard that he was a Superman villain. I can't even think of on the top of my head, but I'm thinking, is there a chance that maybe maybe Dragon King is alive and is working with them? Or maybe do you think this was the ape's idea to begin with and brought Jordan back to life? Who knows? Because the ape, before the ape wasn't like, the villain or whatever, I guess there was a scientist that put his brain into the ape, and it was the biggest JSA villain that they've ever faced. And then the most dangerous JSA villain that they've ever faced. So really, I mean, he would be smart enough. The scientist that's now, has his brain inside the ape's body that have strength would have the capability to bring back Jordan. That is a possibility. And maybe the Dragon King is still dead, and it's the ape that brought Jordan back to life. There's a big chance that's what's going on. But the fact that Jakeem and Mike tried to get back to tell everybody, that was funny. That, Mike and Jakeem don't have cell phones. I thought that was weird. I was like, they're probably like 15 years old, 14 years old. And the fact they don't have cell phones, I thought that was a little bit weird. And it's a little on the nose how much outdated Blue Valley is. And the fact that like the Thunderbolt pen brought a phone booth for them to make a call, and they had to get like 50 cents or something to like use the thing, or I forget. They needed a nickel or a dime or some shit. I'm not even quite sure. Or I don't know, maybe it was 10 cents. I don't know what it was. But I find it funny though that, that's what needed to pop up. They didn't have cell phones to call, so I thought that was just funny to me. But yet when Pat tried calling Mike, it was Mike's voicemail, so I was like, okay, I'm confused. Like, if Mike had a cell phone, why didn't he just call? Why did he need Jakeem to make that, make that wish for a phone, for a phone or something, so they could call and warn everybody that was going down? And mind you, they went to go look for Cindy. They couldn't find Cindy until they got caught up in a net. And then that's when they found Cindy. And Cindy was kind of, she was kind of happy about that they came to look for her. And they came to, that, they were worried about her. That I saw that in her, and, the way, her look was, she seemed very happy that they came. But then she's kind of run along, go play games. Let me handle this. This trap was for the Beast or whatever. And, the Thunderbolt Pen's well, you're going to need a bigger net. So, I do find it, I am liking the dynamic of that Cindy knows that they care about her. And, as much as Mike wants to play jokes at it, he cares about Cindy just as much as Jakeem cares about Cindy. So I'm really liking is that we're seeing a new team being built, but it really bums me out because the more I'm loving what they are doing in the show, the more upset I get because I know we're not getting a season 4. And I just got to say that it just makes me really upset that we won't see where this series could go. And I know Jeff Johns said that they went into this knowing that there was a chance that they would not be renewed for a season 4, and they wanted to make this the best season yet. It just upsets me because we're no longer going to see where they are going to go with this, especially now because since Crusher and Paula are dead, we don't know how Artemis is going to react. I think we're going to get that before the end of the season because, like I said, the last episode is on December 7th, but we also don't know. I'm thinking that how the series is going to end, I'm thinking is that Cameron's going to realize that everybody was right about his father, and he might do the killing blow. I feel like he might kill his father and realize you need to be gone. You're a monster. I feel like he'll have that realization, even though from the promo, Jordan's making it sound like he's a changed man. Like he confronts Barb and says, I'm a changed man now. No, you're not, dude. You literally murdered Paula and Crusher in cold blood. And then you literally disintegrated them. That's bullshit. I'm so angry right now that they did that to those characters because we just barely scratched the surface with those characters. Things were going so well, but the writer said, fuck you guys. You know what I mean? They pretty much said that to the fans. Like, no, you guys are beat. I know you guys are getting attached to them now. I knew right then and there when we focused on them in this episode and how they were things were looking up for the Crocs. I knew right away they were going to die, especially when they went down in the sewer and someone was calling them out. I'm like, they're dead. They're dead. And I was thinking to myself, there's no way that ape is down in the sewer. There's no way. There's just no freaking way. And I was thinking to myself, I kept going back in my head. I'm like, okay, well, someone had black gloves looking at the screen and we know it wasn't Mr. Bones. So who could it be? And the moment the person came out and grabbed or stabbed Crusher and I saw the ice, I was like, that's Jordan. I'm like, oh my God, he's alive. How? I still don't know how. I mean, I feel like it's kind of on the nose that the ape brought him back. I feel like it's on the nose. And again, I'm sorry, I forget the villain's name. I just do. It's a very outlandish name, even in I think it's the evolutionary. Maybe that's what. Maybe no, I don't think that's it. I'm gonna look it up because I do want to get it right. I don't want people getting upset. So let me look up Stargirl season 3. Okay. Oh, it's called the Ultra Humanity? No. Ultra Humanity? Is that how you say it? Ultra Humanity? Is that who the villain is? Okay. Well, maybe that is the monster's name, the ape's name. Ultra Humanity. I'm just trying to make sure if that's right. Come on. Maybe I'm gonna click this. Oh yeah, Ultra Humanity. That's the name of the villain. And again, he was a human scientist, and then he went into the ape, put his brain in the ape's body because he needed strength. And I was going to say Dragon King is the one that concocted with the scientist to put his brain inside the ape. So it's this is the biggest villain they faced yet. So that's why I'm thinking that the ape took it upon himself, the Ultra Humanity, and brought back Jordan. I'm thinking, because I don't know if Jordan did it vice versa, is the one that let loose Ultra Humanity. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm thinking because, Jordan was the leader, so maybe he had full control over the ape. Because I mean, the ape must have been a part of the Injustice Society because because Dragon King made him through and helped the scientist put the scientist's brain inside the ape. So I'm thinking if by kind of like, oh, since Dragon King is dead, it's kind of like Jordan gets to control the ape now. That's what I'm thinking. But honestly, I really don't know. It could have been like the ape brought him back to life, or Jordan brought him out to help him take out everybody. I just don't know why Jordan put the pinpoint signal to his own house to have everybody get their ass beat. When again, I'm sorry, I need to like clear this, like get this off my chest. I'm getting really annoyed though because I've been watching so many people's I've been watching so many people's like thoughts and comments and other like watching video like last week's episode. People have been in other people's like video comments. People someone like put the video up of the McKents versus the JSA. Someone like put that video up on YouTube, and a whole bunch of people were saying Rick was out of hand. Rick, could have hurt Courtney. There's Cameron's a better fighter than Rick. Oh, this proved that Cameron's a better character than Rick. Mess me with that bullshit. Get out of here with that bullshit. Cameron is not a better character than Rick. And there's a reason that Rick is acting the way he's acting. And I'm going to tell you this right now. For people that are new here to the channel, and I've already like talked about this before, that, I really like Rick's character, and I understand where he's coming from. He wants to protect his family. I understand like where that's coming from. And even Courtney said it to Cameron when Cameron went to go meet up with Courtney and ask who killed his father, which Courtney said it was her. I never thought I was about to be pissed if she would have gave up Mike. I was about to say, I don't like your character anymore. I don't like you anymore. Like Courtney right now at all, because I haven't been really messing with Courtney ever since, she's been taking Cameron's side at all. So, I want to talk about the fact of, I understand where Rick is coming from because he wants to protect his family. He never had a family. His family got taken away by the Injustice Society. So I understand why this is his family, and he wants to protect his family. He did not know the hourglass was going to do that to him. Give him full adrenaline and make him not be able to control how he's feeling. But mind you, he has he has strong, passionate feelings about his family and wanting to protect them. I mean, he feels kind of responsible that he didn't get the chance to save his mom and dad from dying from Grundy. You know what I mean? He didn't get that opportunity. But now that he kind of swore to himself ever since he put that hourglass on and that suit on, I will never lose my family again. I will protect this family with my life. And now I can. We saw how much he struggled and he was upset because he couldn't fix the hourglass to even make it go back to an hour before he realized, oh my God, if I take this inhibitor out for just an hour, I can protect my family 24/7. He did not know he would go and lose control, but he has strong feelings. Again, I don't find it okay that he threw Courtney, because Courtney was trying to break up the fight because she didn't want anybody to get hurt. It makes sense, but he did not mean to do that. I do believe that was an accident. He didn't mean to do that, and he was so in the zone. And again, it's not his fault because he didn't know that him taking that dampener out, that would do that. So people are making it sound like Rick knew doing that would make him unstable. He didn't. Like, pay attention to his character arc and where he's coming from. That just annoys me when people are all like, oh, I always hated Rick's character. Oh, Rick is the worst character. Oh, Rick should have knew better instead of taking out that dampener. Like, no, pay attention to where his character started and where his character is now. Like, pay attention, because it's like when people don't pay attention, you get dumb comments like people saying like, oh, also Cameron's a better fighter than Rick. I'm sorry, that's plot armor. We clearly see in this season, Cameron's a big key player in this season, and he is now learning how to use his abilities. That's plot armor. There's no way in God's green earth man was able to do all those flips. Anybody would be able to do all those flips first try about using their powers. He just started learning how to use his abilities. Let's be real. The first time Rick, Yolanda, and Beth all first fought, they were struggling. Plot armor. Man was not struggling at all. He was doing like flips around the air like Cirque du Soleil. It's bullshit, but people are all like, oh, that's why he's a better character than Rick. No, he's not. It's plot armor. Batman has plot armor. Are you kidding me? It's like, just that really frustrates me. I just had to get that off my chest, because I'm sorry, Rick should have been able to kill Cameron if he really wanted to. You have strength versus ice. Ice breaks. Strength doesn't. I'm sorry. And the whole ice shield crap didn't make sense to me. It really didn't, because you can break through an ice shield. I'm sorry. That's how it is. So I mean, again, it's made up, of course, because we're in a superhero world. So I mean, I guess you could do an ice shield if you want to, but you can't say that he was able to beat Rick as much as he was able to beat up Rick, because that makes no sense, because Cameron doesn't have strength. If anything, Rick should have been able to take out Cameron very easily. I mean, yeah, mind you, he could have iced up his feet like he did in that one sequence, but not doing all those flips around the wall and beating up Rick as much as he did. That doesn't make any sense. He just learned how to use his abilities. But like I said again, plot armor. Man has major plot armor right now. 100%. There's no doubt about it. It's just, that's how it is. They want it to be like, oh, Cameron's a really powerful asset to the team. They want to do that because yet again, Courtney's a really powerful asset to the team. So they want them to be like a kind of like a power couple in a way. I definitely see that, where they want them to get together and be like, a power couple. But it's like, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense when you have strength versus ice that he was able to get the upper hand. And some people say, oh, it's because Rick was so angry. That makes no sense. I mean, Rick being more angry should have been able to really take out Cameron even more, because he had all that pent up energy about Cameron being an ass all the times that Rick and him have had conversations. Which, I mean, like I said, Rick hasn't understood. I understand where Rick is coming from. Why, some people could say he was being rude to Rick when he drove past with when Cameron was making the meal of his father, because again, Rick knew that Cameron's father was a monster. And that was what made him upset. Little does Cameron know that, his father's a monster. Maybe Rick kind of already maybe knew that Cameron already knew how much of it, thought of his father, he wouldn't think of his father as a monster, but kind of knew that, he was because no one's going to think usually, especially Cameron, from how we know his character and him making the mural, but he probably kind of knew, he already kind of had a look at them, especially after the way he knew how Jordan was. So he kind of had that outlook on the whole McKent family, he's probably like his, Cameron's probably like his father. He probably had that assumption, and that's why he kind of was looking and says, he's like, you have a problem? He's like, I'm looking right at it or whatever, or he said something like that, or oh, is there an issue? And he's like, no, there's no problem, and then he just drove off. And then the problem when, he interrupted him at the table or whatever when they were having a meeting, and said, what's your problem? He's like, I'm staring right at it. Mind you, that was prior to Cameron being rude to a teacher, because he was going through some things. Man, going through the loss of his father. Yes, he doesn't know his father was a monster and blah, 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 but there's no reason to be treating a teacher like that. And that's what Rick was trying to make a point, saying there's no reason you should be treating a teacher like this. And again, I'm sorry. I know that rich means, him being rich doesn't mean anything, but he lives in a rich house with his grandparents that are looking after him. It doesn't take away the way he's feeling about his father and not knowing his father was a monster, because he did lose a father, but he had no right to be treating a teacher like that. And that's why Rick was standing up for the teacher, because Rick has been treated like crap all of his life, and he wants to stick up for the little guy. That's what Rick stands for. That's why, he's someone that came from nothing, that has a family now, and wants to stick up for people now, knowing he's a hero, and doesn't want to tolerate people treating people like shit, especially because since that teacher helped Rick, with classwork and stuff like that, or whatever, he kind of, or I guess, I guess it started out weird because she thought he was cheating or whatever, but then, they kind of grew to become friends, him and the teacher, so he was, standing up for her. So it's there's a reason why Rick acts a certain way towards Cameron, and I see that. But people just want to be like, oh, just because, it's Cameron, oh, I'm going to like Cameron, you know what I mean? I feel like there's been nothing that I feel like there should be a reason that people like Cameron, but that's just me. They didn't really do much with that character. I always just thought he was just a character that was there. I mean, they really built up Rick's character and why he is the way he is, unlike they built up Cameron's character. That's just my personal opinion. If you like Cameron, cool. I just don't mess with Cameron at all. I just can't stand people talking shit on Rick when, he's probably the best character in the show, besides, of course, the other ones, but besides, of course, Beth, Courtney, Mike, Jakeem, Pat, Barb, and everybody else. I feel like the weakest character is Cameron. That's just my personal opinion. And there's no shade out to the actor. I think he does an amazing job playing, Cameron. I just find out the writers don't really give him much to do and really haven't built up his character enough. I also thought it was rushed, their relationship, Courtney and his relationship. I just thought it was super rushed. I was like, you guys just met a year ago, and you guys barely spent any time together. How do you like him, and how does he like her? I was like, that's very weird. But it's one of those things. But honestly, like, I don't know, this was just a pretty good episode on the fact of, also, Jakeem and Mike, getting their wish and being able to get sent back to, the diner, and then they realize, oh shit, we almost forgot about the big giant ape that's trying to, like, hurt everybody. We got to go tell, Pat, and of course go tell, Sylvester. And that was a nice moment where Pat, really hugs Mike and says, you know what I mean? Like, where have you been? I've been worried. And they said, Jakeem, are you okay? And they're like, and then, Sylvester's like, we've been worried about you guys. We like, where have you guys been? And that's when they say, there's a big giant ape out in the woods, a big giant monster that wants to, like, that's out in the woods, and they knew right away who that ape was. And they kind of explained to everybody who it was. And it's just sad because while they're trying to, like, think that, so Courtney's, like, realizing this is the moment where everybody needs to get together, we need everybody on board to do this. We have Jordan killing the Crocs and pretty much gonna try to fool everybody, or not fool everybody, but try to fool Barb, try to fool, mainly, I feel like probably try to fool everybody. That's what it seems to be next week. He's really trying to fool everybody, except Sylvester's not buying it, which I'm happy he's not, because he knows how Jordan is and knows that Jordan doesn't just change like that. We've seen what it took for the Crocs and everybody to change. Jordan just coming back out of the blue, out of nowhere, and just changing. There's something up, and I hope everybody isn't just on board to just think that Jordan's changed, because that'll be a little bit of bullshit. I just feel like that'd be too easy of writing, that he just comes out of nowhere and they're like, oh, because if I'm being honest, I mean, if they do that to Jordan, they should have done that for the Gambler, if they were just going to accept someone just, saying that they've changed. So I hope they don't do that, because that would be a little bit of shitty writing. And I mean, that would really annoy me. I don't want this show, especially since we know this is the last season, I don't want this show to become like The Flash, or the show to become like how Arrow was later in the later seasons of the Flash and Arrow. I just don't want that happening at all. I just hope it stays peak, at least for these last couple of episodes of this season. I'm just hoping. Again, this is just all, just my thoughts and my opinions. Again, if you guys like the character Cameron, that's great. If you guys, like, Courtney and Cameron together, that's great. I'm not for it, and this is just my personal opinion and what I see in the writing and stuff like that. I mean, I really dive deep into stuff like this, how that's why I started, my YouTube channels, because I love TV, I love movies, I love, pop culture and cinema and everything, and that's why I started this channel, and also to spread love, positivity, and motivation. Even though I do give my critiques, and I could be, rough, I could be kind of rough with my critiques, but that's what I gotta do, so that way they make writing better. So but guys, honestly, that was pretty much it of the episode. I just hope, it just really made me upset also when Pat said just said a rude remark about Rick, saying that, oh, Rick needs to get in line or whatever, and then he said another mean shit to about Rick, saying, oh, that kid needs to get his head screwed on or whatever. And I'm like, if I'm being honest, everybody ran into that house once they found out about the camera pinpoint signal that they've been looking for being at the McKenna house. Everybody went in there and everybody was fighting. Everybody didn't get angry until Courtney got there, and he accidentally, like, didn't mean to throw Courtney against the wall. You know what I mean? Everybody went into that fight fighting. It's true. It's not like it was like Yolanda and Beth that were fighting the elderly. I mean, they were literally fighting Cameron's grandparents. No one said anything about that. So it's like, I don't know. It kind of just frustrates me, because, again, he did not mean to do that. And it's like, it's just, it's the adrenaline. He's just not being, it's the hourglass. It does need to be taken off. And people saying he doesn't deserve it, I don't know. You clearly weren't paying attention to the first 2 seasons of Stargirl if you think Rick doesn't deserve the hourglass. That's just not true. But honestly, though, I'm afraid what this will do. I hope Cameron doesn't fuel his fire even more, especially because I bet you he's gonna have questions on, like, how are you alive? I thought you died. I think they all will. Cameron, even Jordan's parents, I think, are gonna be like, how are you alive? Cameron's gonna be like, how are you alive? And I think they're kind of understanding, like, oh shit, someone brought you back to life. And I don't put it past that scientist to, like, do weird experiments to bring Jordan back. Maybe. And maybe did something to his DNA or something. I don't know. I just don't put it past the scientist that it's not the same Jordan. And maybe a Jordan that would change. Same as how, like, Brainwave was never the same after what happened to Brainwave after he got, like, put into that, like, that coma, that when Courtney put him in the coma, and like, when he came back out, like, and I think he was like not acting the same or whatever, or something like that. I don't know. I just feel like he's not the same Jordan, and even if he is, that's just not bad. That's just not good news, because even that Jordan was bad and probably had no chance of changing. And then even if it's a new Jordan, that's even more different because he did come back from the dead. That's still not good news. I'm just not, especially because, I mean, if anything, we know that he doesn't care about putting his own family in danger, because he didn't care. He put his family in danger by putting that signal there to have them come there, unless that was a part of his plan, so that way his son wouldn't want to be near Courtney anymore, and that way his son would be by his side to take out Courtney in the JSA team. That would make sense. Maybe because he saw, I think he saw since day one that Courtney can make change in the way villains think. Especially last season probably showed him that when he was like recovering in the sewers. He probably saw, oh my God, like Courtney got all of my old Injustice Society members to turn good. And I see that she's trying to do that to my son, and trying to do that to my grandparents, or to my parents. So I also, because we do know by the end of this episode, Jordan's parents, like mended the fences because of Paula and Crusher. I think that's why he wanted to kill them as well, because he saw that he made the Crusher and Paula made his parents forgive Courtney and the JSA for killing him, and that made him upset. I think that's why he also wanted to kill them as well, on top of them changing, to being good. But yeah, guys, I'm really curious to know what you guys think about this episode. Let me know your thoughts and your theories down in the comments below. What do you guys think the next couple of episodes are going to be like? Do you guys think also that there's a chance that this show might get saved and moved to HBO Max? I was talking to my sister-in-law about that. I was like, because we both love Superman and Lois, and we were thinking like, because I told her about Stargirl getting canceled, and she's like, oh my God, I hope Superman and Lois isn't next. I'm like, I know, right? And she's like, well, a whole bunch of other CW shows got moved to HBO Max, so maybe Superman and Lois and Stargirl will get moved to HBO Max. I'm like, fingers crossed, because I think that WB and Nexstar are really dumb for this. Mainly, I mean, I really can't even fully blame Nexstar, because, again, WB could take these shows and put them on HBO Max. It's technically theirs, or if anything, that they work together with the CW on these shows. So it's like they could totally just take the show and put it on HBO Max. Titans is on there. Why can't you put this on there? But I said that in my my thoughts on them canceling the show, so you guys already really know how I feel about that. If you guys have watched it, if you guys haven't, go check that out. I really go into deep diving on what they could do, and just go. It's a really good video. Go check it out. But yeah, guys, yet again, if you are new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, put in notifications, like this video. I'd love to have you guys here, part of the family, part of the channel. We're all about spreading love, positivity, and motivation. And yet again, guys, we are almost to 600 subscribers. We're making moves. We're making strides. Right now, we're at 567. Almost to 600 subscribers. And guys, tomorrow is a big day. I think it's 10:11 right now, Eastern time. And tomorrow is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. You guys know, if you guys have been here a part of the channel before, you guys know how excited I am for tomorrow. And I cannot wait. I'm going to be doing a vlog tomorrow. I'm going to be giving, I think I'm going to go live and give my live, thoughts, there at the theater after I'm done seeing the movie. It's gonna be like a spoiler free live thoughts about what I thought about the movie. And I think then on Friday, I think we're gonna do a spoiler video with my bro Troy, and I think we're gonna make a separate video, and we're gonna talk about our theories of where things could go in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So and going into phase 5 and phase 6. So I'm really looking forward to those videos. Hopefully we do we do that theory video, and where we see everything going in phase 5 and 6 after we're done doing our spoiler review. I hope to get up the spoiler review, like I said, on Friday. But judging and depending on when we get out of the theater, we might do it Saturday, because I think we're going to a 5 or 6 o'clock show. So depending on what time we get out of there, and and what's going on here at the house, because right now we have 2 foster babies in the house, depending on how calm it is and all that, we might do it on Friday. But worst case scenario, I'll drop my spoiler review on Saturday. But I want to give my live non-spoiler thoughts on Thursday. So stay tuned. There will be a live I'm hoping to do after I'm done seeing the movie. It's going to be a late live, because I'm not seeing the movie until 7, so I'm probably not going to get out until 10 at most. So the live might be until I don't know how long I'll be on live for. I might go stay live in the car depending on how the signal is. You guys will just have to let me know if the signal is still good and it's not glitching out and it's not being weird. But guys, stay tuned for that. And yeah, again, I'm sorry that I didn't know the Ultra Humanity's name. I kind of like forgot. Someone did. Shout out to you, the person that said it in the comments below. I appreciate it. Sometimes I might not also know a lot of DC villains because I'm not the biggest reader of DC comics. I've seen some of the comics, not everything. I've seen a couple of episodes of the cartoons. I haven't seen really everything. So I mean, yeah, it's nice that and also, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, I mostly consume DC, like, movies and stuff. So it's like, for me, it's like, they kind of don't do deep cuts where they bring, like, a whole bunch of, like, older heroes and villains and put them in movies. That's one of the things that DC needs to start doing that Marvel's doing. Marvel's bringing in a whole bunch of, like, so deep cuts, whether it be, like, the Guardians of the Galaxy or, like, all these other, She-Hulk. They're doing all these things that DC is not doing. And I'm glad that DC TV is doing, because Stargirl is brought to light so many villains I never knew about and so many heroes I never knew about. Some I did, some I didn't. So it's like, that's why I love this show so much, but sometimes I don't have the answers to everything. So that's why I really do appreciate when you guys let me know something down in the comments below. That's what it's about. You guys, teaching me things. And I hope to teach you guys some things and stuff, or some knowledge that I know. So that's why I really appreciate it when you guys do that. And I appreciate, again, the person that told me it was Ultra Humanity. I really appreciate it, if I'm saying that right. But yeah, guys, that was the video. I hope everybody has a great day, a safe day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.